Summary of You Are a Badass by Jensen's Arrow. Part 1. How You Got This Way. My subconscious made me do it. I can pretty much guarantee that every time you tearfully ask yourself the question, WTF is my problem? The answer lies in some lame, limiting, and false subconscious belief that you've been dragging around without even realizing it. This means that understanding this is majorly important. So let's review, shall we? 1. Our subconscious mind contains the blueprint for our lives. It's running the show based on the unfiltered information it gathered when we were kids, otherwise known as our beliefs. 2. We are, for the most part, completely oblivious to these subconscious beliefs that run our lives. 3. When our conscious minds finally develop and show up for work, no matter how big and smart and highfalutin they grow to be, they're still being controlled by the beliefs we're carrying around in our subconscious minds. The big snooze. Ego is used to refer to the shadow self, or the false self, or the self that's acting like a weenie. It's the part of us that's driving the bus when we do things like sabotage our happiness by cheating on our husbands or wives because deep down we don't feel worthy of being loved. Jensen's Arrow refers to the ego as the big snooze. It's more appropriate since the leading cause of sucking is that we haven't yet woken up to how truly powerful we are or to how massively abundant our universe is. The big snooze operates according to your limiting false beliefs. It gets validation from outside sources, is fear-based, and extremely committed to keeping you safely confined within the reality you've created based on these limiting false beliefs, aka your comfort zone. Your true self or your higher self or your superhero self, your non-BS self, on the other hand, is the part of you that operates according to your connection to source energy. It gets validation from within, it's proactive, love-based, and is committed to creating a reality based on your limitless potential as soon as you wake up from the big snooze. The big snooze will do everything it can to stop you from changing and growing, especially since you're attempting to obliterate the very identity that you and everyone else has come to know as you. If you want to take control of your life, stop at nothing. Have faith. Trust that your new life is already here and is far better than the old. Hang tight if the big snooze pitches a fit. Whatever happens, stay on course. It's just as easy to believe we're awesome as it is to believe we're giant sucking things. First things you might have to deal with when you decide to wake up from the big snooze and make massive positive changes in your life is disapproval from other people who are snoring away. Especially the people closest to you, lame as this may sound. They may express their discomfort in all sorts of ways: anger, hurt, bafflement, criticism, snorting every time you talk about your new business or your new friends, constant remarks about how you're not the way you used to be, brow furrowing. Part 2. How to embrace your inner badass. Love the one you is. When we're happy and all in love with ourselves, we can't be bothered with the bullshit, our own or other people's. Here are some tips for self-love. 1. Appreciate how special you are. 2. Drown yourself in affirmations. 3. Do things you love. 4. Ditch the self-deprecating humor. 5. Let the love in. 6. Don't compare yourself to others. 7. Forgive yourself. You are loved. Massively. Ferociously. Unconditionally. The universe is totally freaking out about how awesome you are. It's got you wrapped in a warm gorilla hug of adoration. It wants to give you everything you desire. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to see what it sees in you. I know you are, but what am I? Do not waste your time giving a crap about what anybody else thinks of you. We throw a wet blanket of ho-hummery over our lives when we live in fear of what others might think, instead of in celebration of who we are. You are responsible for what you say and do. You're not responsible for whether or not people freak out about it. What other people think about you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. All that matters is what's true for you, and if you can stay connected to that without straying, you will be a mighty superhero. What are you doing here? Everyone's journey is unique, but we are all trying to get to the same place, somewhere we feel happiest, the most alive, and the most like ourselves. 1. Take the first right step. Don't waste hours and days trying to figure out your perfect next move. Just do something already. 2. Do your best wherever you're at. 3. Don't reinvent the wheel. What things are people doing that you would love to do too? 4. Avoid getting caught up in the thunderbolt hype. One of the most paralyzing conceptions is that we're all supposed to have one true calling. We all evolve. Let yourself off the hook. 5. Listen to your intuition. 6. Follow your fantasies. 7. Love yourself. Part 3. How to tap into the mother lode. Meditation 101. Meditation, otherwise known as sitting still and thinking about nothing, is one of those things that can be just as stupidly simple as it is surprisingly hard. There's no right way or wrong way to do this, no set amount of time, no correct things to feel, no rules about how you have to sit or where you have to do it. All that matters is that you do it if you want to massively improve your life. If you make a habit of it, you will start to crave it, and your entire life will change. Your brain is your power. Positive thinking is key. Our thoughts are the most powerful tools we've got. Through our thoughts, we create our realities. You have to change your thinking first, and then the evidence appears. Our big mistake is that we do it the other way around. We demand to see the evidence before we believe it to be true. Your job isn't to know the how, it's to know the what and to be open to discovering and receiving the how. Forgive or fester. The moment you decide to forgive and let your negative feelings melt away, you are on the road to freedom. Forgiveness is all about taking care of you, not the person you need to forgive. Put your desire to feel good before your desire to be right. Take responsibility for your own happiness instead of pretending it's in somebody else's hands. Own your power by giving all your anger, resentment, and hurt the heave-ho. Holding on to resentment is like taking poison and waiting for your enemies to die. Forgiveness is all about taking care of you, not the person you need to forgive. It's about putting your desire to feel good before your desire to be right. It's about taking responsibility for your own happiness instead of pretending it's in somebody else's hands. Part 4. How to get over your BS already. It's so easy once you figure out it isn't hard. Our entire experience on this planet is determined by how we choose to perceive our reality. All you have to do is make the choice to let go of everything you're so attached to that's not serving you and manifest the reality that you want. Life is an illusion created by your perception, and it can be changed the moment you choose to change it. Procrastination, perfection. Most of the time it's not a lack of experience that's holding us back, but rather the lack of determination to do what we need to do to be successful. We put so much energy into coming up with excuses why we can't be, do, or have the things we want, and designing the perfect distractions to keep us from our dreams. Imagine how far we'd get if we just shut up and used all that energy to go for it instead. Procrastination is one of the most popular forms of self-sabotage because it's really easy. If you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If you're not, you'll find an excuse. Fear is for suckers. Fear lives in the future. The feeling of being afraid is real, but the fear itself is all made up because it hasn't even happened yet. Death, going bankrupt, breaking a leg, forgetting our lines, getting yelled at for being late, getting rejected, etc. Most of the time we have no guarantee that what we fear is going to even happen, and that if it does, that it's going to be scary. All it takes to turn the fear factor around is learning to be comfortable in, instead of terrified of, the unknown. This is done through faith. On the other side of your fear is your freedom. Part 5, How to Kick Some Ass. The almighty decision. When you make a no-nonsense decision, you sign up fully and keep moving toward your goal, regardless of what's flung in your path. And stuff will most definitely get flung, which is why making the decision is so crucial. This shit is not for sissies. The moment it gets hard or expensive or puts you at risk of looking like a moron, if you haven't made the decision, you'll quit. If it wasn't uncomfortable, everyone would be out there all in love with their fabulous lives. So often, we pretend we've made a decision when what we've really done is signed up to try until it gets too uncomfortable. Nobody gets to the top of the mountain without falling on his face over and over again. The only failure is quitting. Everything else is just gathering information. Remember to surrender. Your faith in the universe must be stronger than your fear of not getting what you want. Surrendering is the part where you hand the job over to the universe. What often happens is that, regardless of our best intentions and hard work, we're trying to control our circumstances by using our limiting beliefs and old patterns. We think that we need to try and take charge of the situation, fear-based thinking, instead of having faith and gratitude and allowing the universe to deliver, love-based thinking. In short, we think we can do a better job of manifesting than the universe can. Doubt is resistance, faith is surrender. Worry is resistance, joy is surrender. Control is resistance, allowing is surrender. Ridicule is resistance, believing is surrender. Energy needs to flow or else it stagnates. Surrendering puts you in the flow. When you believe that everything you desire already exists, you are in a natural state of surrender. Doing versus spewing. There's a statistic that says only 5% of people who sign up for something, like a course or a seminar, actually do anything with it. And this includes very, very, very high-priced somethings, not just the money management class at the community college down the road. This is because lots of people wish for change, really, really want it, are willing to invest the time and money into it, but are ultimately not willing to get uncomfortable enough to actually make anything happen. Which means they don't want it as badly as they say they do. People who are successful are not only willing to get uncomfortable, but they know they have to make a habit of it if they want to stay successful. They keep moving through each new challenge instead of stagnating and settling. The muscle of kickery is like any other muscle, you have to use it or lose it. Conclusion. Give yourself the permission and the means, yes, this includes the money, to be who you are regardless of what anybody else thinks or believes is possible. Do not deny yourself the life you want to live because you are worried you're not good enough or that you'll be judged or that it's too risky, because who does that benefit? No one, that's who. You are powerful. You are loved. You are surrounded by miracles. Believe, really believe that what you desire is here and available to you. And you can have it all. Love yourself? You are a badass.